How's it going, Tom?
It's going great. How you doing, Albert?
I'm doing good.
I like that AC/DC shirt, brother.
Thank you. I watched the movie yesterday, actually, The Collective, and I really enjoyed it. It was action packed. It was a lot of fun, a lot of little twists and turns here and there, but overall, a great movie.
Thank you very much, man. I got to tell you, I had so much fun making this one, so I'm happy to hear you enjoyed it.
So, what brought you on to the project?
I got a call from a good friend of mine, longtime collaborator, Richard Switzer, and he said, Tommy, I've got this action movie script called The Collective, and I think it's got a lot of elements in it that you're really going to gravitate towards. You know, I had done some crime dramas before. I had done a couple of horror movies before, but I never did just a straight up action movie. But this script had a little bit of elements of horror. There were some horrifying things that happened in it. It had some elements of the crime drama as well. So it kind of had these, ingredients that I've worked with before, and I was able to take them and kind of make a different dish on The Collective.
That's awesome. And the cast in this was amazing. I mean, I love seeing Lucas Till because ever since I saw him in The Spy Next Door, I knew he had that action persona, even though he played a villain in that movie. But of course, MacGyver was the breakthrough for him. But here, he just whipped some butt once again. And of course, you have Don Johnson and Tyrese. And what was it like working with these guys?
I loved working with Lucas. This was the first time I ever worked with him. And, I remember I met him on the first day that we did our stunt choreography training sessions. And what impressed me the most about him was just his athletic ability. He's a great athlete. Obviously he's a super talented actor, but, there's a lot of action in this movie. And when I read the script, one of my concerns was just like, whoever plays this part, man, they got to be kind of a badass to be doing all this stuff. And Lucas has trained martial arts before. He's done some Brazilian jiu-jitsu before. So he knows how to throw a punch. He knows how to fall properly. He knows how to roll. He can do all these moves. So it was great to see him just like pick up all that choreography. And it's cool because he's got this gentlemanly toughness to him where, he's a respectable guy, and it doesn't look like he's the kind of guy who would take liberties with you physically. But if you mess with him, he's going to kick your ass.
Yeah. Exactly. And his fight scenes were great. And the one that really blew me away was Mercedes Varnado, who used to be known as Sasha Banks. She was devilishly evil in the movie. Like,
dude, let me tell you,
as the muscle, she was like the muscle of the three villains. And I thought for a feature film debut, she was phenomenal in it.
Thank you, man. I had so much fun working with Mercedes. But here's the cool thing about Mercedes. And if you're a wrestling fan, you know this, but Mercedes is on a short list of probably one of the top 3 female wrestlers on the planet. And that's no joke. And some people would argue that she's the most physically gifted, talented in-ring worker out of all of them. And that's my personal take on the matter. I might be a little biased, of course, but it was so much fun to watch Mercedes in her fight coordination, stunt rehearsals, because she would just watch the 2 stunt performers. Our coordinator, Anthony, would tell her, okay, here are the moves. She would just watch it on the sidelines. He said, you think you got that? No problem. And she would just bang out this really complex fight scene, like to a T, beat by beat, first try. So it was just amazing to watch her recall ability. And obviously all that comes from her professional wrestling acumen. She's one of the best in the world. So it was really great to watch. Rarely do you get a chance in life to watch one of the greatest in the world at their craft perform their craft. And I got to do that with Mercedes.
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember talking with Elaine Lucy a while back, and when Dave Bautista was when they did the Kickboxer reboot, he was like, Dave comes from that professional wrestling background, so he knows timing and choreography and coordination. He knows the spacing too. And, he picked it up right away. So, that's what I like about the pro wrestlers who transfer to film and do action flicks, because they know that they've from that experience, they could pick up the choreography. And Mercedes' fights against Tyrese and Lucas were 2 of my favorites in the whole movie altogether.
Man, I could have shot those fight scenes 50 times because I just had so much fun doing it. It was really enjoyable. And yeah, it was something else working with Mercedes. And the other thing too is, here's the thing, what's the key to pro wrestling? You make it look violent, but at the end of the day, nobody's breaking any bones, nobody's really getting hurt. And the safety of the other performers is number one. So same thing in a movie, it looks violent, it looks nasty, but hey, everyone's clean with no marks by the end of it.
Yep. And then of course you have Paul Ben Victor. I love watching him when he plays like the scummy bad guy type, and here he does it again. And of course, and you have Don Johnson as the leader of the collective, and he's all calm and cool, and he wants to make sure everything's done on the up and up. And even though when he tells Tyrese, you're not going to do this, he knows that he's going to do it anyway, but he's like, you gotta keep it grounded. And altogether, I mean, those two guys are legends in my book, and they just did a great job playing at the opposite sides of the spectrums.
Yeah, they really are legends. And I was fortunate because I've gotten a chance to work with Don in the past. I worked with him on a movie called Vault back in 2019. And I'll admit, I was a little nervous. I was a little intimidated to work with Don. He's a legend. And it was really nice that we had already built a rapport. All the hi, how are yous was out of the way. And now it was nice to just, see him right away. Hey, Don, how's it going? Give a big hug and get right into action. And it was fun, too, because you'll notice Don's got a little bit of a snarkiness to him in this movie too. He's kind of funny in it as well. So yeah. Don's a talented actor. It was really great to kind of see him showcase a big range in this movie.
Right. So I gotta say, this kind of leaves open-ended for a sequel, and by God, I hope we do get a sequel to this. And is that something that's kind of being talked about in case something this does well enough? Do you know?
Sure? I can't say too much about it, but let's put it this way: if there is a sequel, I will break out my collective pin. I will put it on my shirt, and I will show up to work with a big smile on my face because I love these characters, and I feel like there are multiple stories and different adventures that they could go on. I think it's kind of limitless.
Exactly. And I think you can even up the action. I mean, the action was great in this, but you can even make it like more action packed, because I felt like the story and the action was a great balance here. And that's what works. I mean, you can't just have too much of one and then not have the other, but you gotta have that. I feel like you gotta have a balance for it to work. And this one definitely worked with the balance between action and story.
Yeah, you use a great word there, balance, and that's what it's all about with an audience. If you're just, I love hamburgers, but I can't eat a hamburger every single meal. You know what I mean? You gotta switch it up a little bit. So it's nice so that you do have a little bit of comedy, you do have a little bit of serious, kind of drama happening, and then when it's time for fighting, we're going to deliver that too.
That's awesome, and exactly, and I feel like this is going to be a movie that people should definitely check out. I mean, this is just a fun action flick. You don't have to take anything too seriously. Just grab your popcorn and enjoy this movie. That's how I feel about this one.
You said it, man. If we can provide an hour and a half worth of entertainment, we did our jobs, and we're real satisfied with that.
Well, with that said, everyone needs to check out The Collective. It's coming out on August 4th. A great action-packed film. It has a great story too, and a phenomenal cast. I mean, if you guys thought Lucas Till was great in MacGyver, I think you're going to be in for a surprise with this film, in my opinion. And Tom, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about the movie.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the kind words on the film.
All right. Well, everyone, you take care and have a good day.
You too.
All right.